Okay,
Try
recording.
to keep my shirtless.
Yeah. Although he could get famous that way. I don't know. Okay. So parameters. So essentially, again, thinking about this request response cycle, this idea of making a request. We're going to check the routes.rb. We're going to hit the controller. We may hit the model if we need to retrieve any data, and then we're displaying the view. Really inside the inside between the browser and the controller, and then to the view, we often are trying to pass things. We're also often trying to pass values between different locations, and we sort of hit on this some when we're talking about being in controllers and then calling other actions and other routes, and then what instance variables are available, those kinds of things. So in addition to the instance variables we've already got, we can also pass parameters between different actions. And so he talks about that some, and then also this idea of being able to pass parameters via the URL. So depending on what you put inside the web browser's address bar, you have the ability to sort of pass variables or parameters that way. So let's look at that. Let's just experiment. I've got some stuff that he did. So I'm going to go back to my test app. That's what I named it. So we'll start the server up, and we should be able to look in the, although he didn't do it in his video, we should be able to look in the server console and sort of see these parameters as they're being passed there too. So one of the suggestions he made is I'm going to add this link to code. So we're going to do link to, and previously when we did this, we only passed two arguments. We only passed the text that we want to see in the link, and then the action that's going to be called. In addition to that, we can create whatever parameters we want and pass those in too. So the example he did, we did a page 5, and then we're going to do ID 20. So we're going to paste this into our view and then sort of see how it works. So let's make sure, let me see which view we want to app views. I want to make sure I know we created a, so yeah, we were in Boo last time. So let's,
okay.
Let's put this here. And then
silly quotes again.
I did it, yeah. I'll fix that. Go localhost 3000, and then so this is tasks. Boo. Okay. Well, what was it? So yeah, we weren't calling this. Trying to think what our route for this was. Let me go. Let's check out our routes.rb. Tasks. Boo. Trying to think how we were calling this before. All right, let's do this. Let's just go to, so this would be hello blarg. Let's see if this works for us. All right, this works. And then let's go ahead and, see, I'm doing so much, we're doing so much redirection here. So this is hello controller blarg, and then this, yeah, this was where boo was being. I knew we were
Yeah,
doing.
there it is. Yep.
So let's go ahead and remove that. Now this hello blarg should. Okay, it doesn't like that. That's fine.
Well, that might be the quotes though.
All right. Boo and blarg, yeah. And may not like these either. There we go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, so if we notice here when I'm highlighting this, notice we can see our route down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. It may be a little bit small, but you can see we see the ID 20 in page 5 there. And then if we actually click this, so notice nothing necessarily happens here. Our ID or our URL at the top does change. But then if we go here, to me, this is, and again, I was sort of surprised he didn't highlight this in the his video, but notice here that these parameters are actually getting passed here.
Okay.
And that's an important thing. The other thing is just having this by itself doesn't really do much. We really sort of need the action to do something with those parameters that are being passed. So now if we go to our hello controller, and so we're in the blarg view. So what we can do is actually grab those params and assign them to a variable. So for instance, we can do at page equals, and I may get this wrong, but we'll fix it if I do. And then this is going to be, yeah, I think it's page like that, right? And again, I'm just looking here for, yeah. So page is 5. So in this case, we're creating an instance variable at page. And so now this is actually available to us here. And I think what we can do is, and what will happen is when we click this link, it'll just update the page based on that variable. So let's do this, and then we'll do equals, and we're going to say page is, and then I think we can do this. And I getting that right? Do you recall? I feel like it's not right, but
For the string interpolation.
and actually I don't think.
Quotes, right?
Well, no,
so I think you just put it like, yeah.
Or yeah, I think I can just put it like this. Maybe let's see.
Yeah.
So if we do that, let's just see what this does. Okay, yeah, there's our.
Yeah, there it is. There's your 5.
So let's do this just so I can see. And then I could just say page is. All righty.
Yeah, there you go.
So if I do that, now notice I should be able to go here and change this, and then I can reload the page. And notice how,
okay.
Yeah, notice how that variable change. So the idea is here is we're passing a value. I'm trying to be careful with using the term variable here, because it's not actually a variable until we assign it to one over in the controller. But we're passing a value up in the URL string, and then that's, so when we make the request, again thinking about our request response cycle in Rails, we're making this request via the web browser. So we're doing I was gonna say I was gonna guess, but we should be able to see. I think we're doing a post request. And actually not, well, we're doing get. See, I don't think it tells you, because get is just, I think that's being passed via a post, but I won't I'm not sure about that, so I won't even try and guess. But anyway, that value is being passed in via the URL string in our controller. In this case, we're grabbing this params page, and that's the same param here. So this params page, and in fact, it's 7 here, right? So we're passing that value. We're assigning it to this page instance variable, and then back in the view, we're actually displaying it here. So that's a little bit abstract and a little bit contrived, but that we'll see more of this down the road when we're wanting to do queries and do other things where we're often using params inside Rails to be able to pass values around to different locations. Sometimes they're just in the controllers themselves. Sometimes they'll be passed in via the URL string. I think that's all I'll say about that. Quick questions about that?
No, thank you. Nope.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I mean, you probably don't have a lot of context for it right now. And in fact, I'm at a loss right now to give you more, a better sort of real world example of when you'd use it. But again, as we dig deeper into Rails and we're doing more, that there'll be many times when we'll be using params to do various things. And we'll struggle some too, because there's a little bit of Rails. There's a lot of Rails magic that's going on there, so it's often hard to tell. It's often not clear where a particular value is coming from and how it's being passed, that kind of thing. So it's just one of those things you have to work through. Okay. Let's look at your authentication app, and let's see if we can do some stuff there. Okay, bundle just to make sure everything's okay, and then Rails S. So I think I already logged in previously, so I'm assuming that cookie is still there. And what page do I need to go to? Welcome. Yeah. So welcome, logged in as Mark Locklear. Now we can see we're not updating it looks like we're not updating our buttons. Generally, we would have this, so we would have a, based on current user, we could do something like either if current user or if logged in, we would show a sign out button, and you said we don't have a destroy method yet, so that's something we'd still need to add. And then, yeah, we just show that. And then if logged in is false, then we would show this, we would show these log in or sign up buttons. And what, let's see, did we do any helper methods here as far as current user? Or
yeah, application controller. I think
so it's in the application controller.
I think so. Is where it's there was like some before and after.
Yeah. So we've got current user logged in. So let's go ahead and leave that open so it's accessible. And then
that's where I would do also the helper method for destroy. Is that? No, because I'm just checking the log in here.
In your sessions. Yeah, in your sessions controller, okay. We would have a destroy there. Okay. In fact, let me see. I pulled up one of my old, I'll just put this in Slack so you've got it. And in fact, I'll just drag this down here. So this is 7 years old, but I'm pretty sure this is all from scratch, similar to what I did inside Learning Rails 5. And if we look at apps, controllers, sessions controller. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So we do this, and I don't know, let's just try it, kicks. Let's just put that in. Session user ID. Okay, yeah, session user ID. Yeah, you got the same thing up here. So yeah, basically all that does. And then, I mentioned looking at the cookies. Let's see. I don't know if you have any cookie tool explorer or whatever, but yeah, I've got edit this cookie is what I use. It's a fairly popular one.
Yeah.
So let's see, this would be basic auth session. And then yeah, I don't know. I sort of expected to see a user ID there, something like that. So maybe that's it, but let's just keep in mind that's there. Maybe we'll come back and look at it. So then let's see, then I'm gonna need a route to be able to access this destroy action. And let's see what my routes in mind were. I need config routes. Log out is session destroy. And then sessions controller destroy. Yeah, so let's go route start RB. Session destroy is log out. So that should work. I don't know if I need to restart the server, but let's just refresh this. So if I do log out and define a local variable, okay, that's fine. So yeah. So generally we like to set a root URL in all of our apps. And I'm not even gonna try and guess because I always get it wrong. Well, might be good for me to try and get it. I think it's just root_2, and then we put whatever we want here. But let me look. It used to be root, so I don't think this is going to work. But let's see if it does. I think it changed to root_2. So even though this errored out, just to make sure we're clear here, this should have worked because the session, and again, this is, well, yeah, I was going to say this is sort of similar to params that we looked at, but anyway, this is setting session user ID to nil, so that is effectively logging us out, which I'm gonna expect that it did. Otherwise, let's see.
Well, so I don't have a tasks or a posts, or I didn't and that was part of the troubleshooting thing that I was talking about previously. Was like I didn't really have anything to see. I didn't have a wall.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have anything behind the curtain.
Right, and that's what hopefully we'll see how far we get here. But let's do this. Let's just leave that out for now, and then let's go back to our sessions controller, and let's maybe comment this out and see what happens. So we're here. So let's try that login, log out again. So log in, and I created,
because it destroyed it. It brought you to that login page.
Right, because it's not finding a session user ID. Right, there's no current session in place. And then test. Now let's see. Should it have redirected?
It doesn't
the welcome page.
Redirect. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's do that then. Session create, and then we should have a redirect.
I guess right there, yeah, and the if it has it, right, redirect to welcome.
Oh, okay. So why is that not working? Let's add, while we're here on this welcome page, let's add a log out button. So let's do log out, and then let's do users destroy maybe. See if that works. So that looks good. Log out, okay. Well, no route, no matches users destroy. Let's see, it should be sessions controller. So sessions destroy, maybe. Sessions. So if we go back here, so that still works. Let's see, okay, so I need a route. Let's go to our routes.rb. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we need this log out. Okay, so really all we need is thanks/log out here. Maybe third time's a charm. All right, this works. All right, good. So that worked. It just, again, we're not, we removed our redirect in our sessions controller. That's why that's not working. So we need to redirect to
Maybe to welcome. Yeah, I don't I don't even think there's anything in that welcome page.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's see what welcome does. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that's what we should do.
Okay.
So let's do redirect to, you've got it here. We'll just do that. Save. All right, let's try this again. Log in would be here. And test. Okay, did we not? Okay.
Yeah, there's something funky going on there.
Something's not working there. Because now if we go to welcome,
you're in there.
Yeah, we're logged in. If we go to log out, welcome is there. Why is that not working? Let's look at our console and see if it tells us anything when we.
I wonder if in the routes there's something with the gets and the posts and that sort of thing.
/login sessions controller new. Okay, this is the users sessions controller. Okay, no, right, we're in sessions controller new. Okay, sessions controller new. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is create here. This is on sign up, right? This is when you're first creating a user. So we need to add a, I think we need to add a redirect here. Maybe. So let's do log out, log in. Nope. Okay, see, now that's not going to work. We need to have an if-else statement here, because what's happening now is as soon as we go to new, then it's just redirecting us to to that. So let's really not worry about that right now. Log in. Well, let's just try it. So let's walk through it. So when we go to new, if you're already authenticated, if user and user authentication, password, welcome, else redirect to login. Again. I think I got. No. Let's see. Am I getting this wrong? If the session is already there, we're going to go to welcome, else go to login. That sounds right. All right, let's see, let's look at the, so we went to sessions new. We're actually up here. This is the redirect here, /login. I think this is the part where we actually entered our, yeah, in fact, we can see it here, right? These are and remember this, this sort of reinforces the parameters that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
In this case, our username we entered was Mark Locklear. Then here's our password. And then login was the action that we actually did. App controllers, sessions controller, line 13, create. So yeah, we're here.
So we're there. Yeah.
That's creating the session. That's creating the session. Redirected to /login. Why are we? If and user.authentication. Do we have a user.authentication? User.rb. I don't know if I understand and user.authentication. I don't. That could be a.
So that's that authenticate method is from the bcrypt.
Bcrypt. Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say that's probably. So if user and that assigned session ID should be at user, and then redirect to welcome. Why are we not getting redirected to welcome? See, it says right here it's redirecting us to login. So this is failing. This is not true. This
was that something in the routes? Maybe I got something wrong in the routes.
Well, usually if you were calling a route that wasn't there, it would fail. So the route it is a valid route, but /welcome. Yeah, I wonder if we need to have.
So that post, the line 9, post login to sessions create. So it's posting that to create, and then, yeah, I mean, it looks right to me.
Yeah.
Right, getting it at the new, it's posting to create, and then.
Yeah, I mean, /welcome is a valid route, so I don't know. Let's see what I'm doing here in the sessions controller. App controllers, sessions controller. If user and user dot authenticate. Yeah, it's the same thing. Let me make sure. Create at user, find by email, right? If user session equals user, redirect to else. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it not supposed to be an instance variable there? On line 16 is it supposed to be if that session
well, it shouldn't
user
matter.
ID
Yeah,
equals user ID?
Well,
not 13, the line 16 below.
No, because I mean the only reason there. I mean I'm using you're using instance variables, whereas I'm not. But that should be fine. In fact, I think using the @ side, I think you do want instance variables rather than not. So, yeah, I don't know. Something's. I mean, the other thing, just for kicks, we make this welcome. I mean, yeah, and then the thing there is if it fails, let's just
that
see.
was the other thing.
Let's just see if we can make it. Let's just see if we can make it work. At least with the use case we're doing, where when you log in, /welcome, log in. Okay, so it worked that time. And then log out, and then log in, and then if it fails, what does it do? Okay, it just sends you back to welcome, which is the same thing as doing. Well, I think all that's fine. It's giving us a sense of, like, again, just to compare this to devise, this is just a little sort of piddly stuff that you have to work your way through, which I'm not concerned about at all. It's the kind of thing where we may spend a few hours getting it to work, but once it's working, we don't have to touch it again. So I'm not too worried about it. The other thing I wanted to do is let's use scaffolding to create a tasks model with all of our CRUD, and then let's hide it behind authentication, because I think that's what you were alluding. I think that's what you were alluding to earlier. It's like, yeah, we've got this authentication, but like it doesn't really do anything unless we can put something. It's got to be unless we've got something to authenticate to, like some resource that we're wanting to put behind authentication. It doesn't really have the full. We're not really getting the full effect of it. So let's do that now. So I'm going to do Rails G scaffold tasks, and let's do name, description, and we'll just say completed Boolean. And now we'll do Rails DB.
And using that, when you generate the scaffold, that gives you all the views, controllers, models, everything.
It does, and I don't know. I think in that tutorial you did, yeah. In fact, I know it didn't, because just looking at your user model and stuff like that, you know, or your user, I should say, not only. So the sessions controller, you went in and manually created each one of these. Your users controller, and that's what you want, as opposed to this task controller. Hey, I got all kinds of good stuff here. However, and not only that, but along with my views and my task controller, whoa, I've got all kinds of good stuff. Users, well, not so much. However, you don't really want all that other stuff, right? With the users model and controller, the sessions controller model, well, I don't think you have a model. I think you've only got a controller there. You don't really want all that, because that can be a security issue, right? You're creating views to be able to access things. Like if we could have used scaffolding to create the user model if we wanted to, and then went in and modified things, but you're exposing a lot of stuff that you don't want to expose. So you know, it's a good point, or now's a good time to sort of bring up the difference between when to use scaffolding and when not to use it. Again, you just need to be mindful of everything scaffolding gives you, but also, you know, you don't always want that. And again, when we're thinking about authentication, these session controllers and the user controller and model, and also the associated routes that go with those things, if we were to use scaffolding to do that, we'd be creating a lot of stuff and exposing a lot of routes and views that we don't want to expose. Yes.
Yep, got it.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to migrate the database. So this is going to give us our task view, and then let's go back and run Rails on our server again. Okay, so what have we got now? So now we've got this whole separate functionality that is authentication, and we've sort of went through. You know, we can create it. At this point, I mean, all of our redirects are not quite what we want, but we can create a user, we can log in as that user, and we can log out as that user, right? And in addition to that, we've got this whole other tasks feature over here, which doesn't seem to be working. All right, so let's figure out why tasks is being redirected to welcome. So I'm going to go to my routes first. That is weird. Well, let's see what the console says. So we went to /tasks. So our application controller is doing something funky here, right?
Yeah.
Line 8, current user, so and then getting redirected to welcome. So let's go to our application controller, and
so it's that helper is looking for a user. So that says you got to be logged in.
Looks like, yeah, period. Which, okay, that's a way to go. I mean, I was thinking,
that's how it should work, right?
Well, it's not necessarily. Generally, what you'd want to do is add to your controller. You'd want to add an authorized. before filter. And that way
Okay.
you're
Yep.
explicit, because right now it's sort of locking everything down, which is maybe a little bit draconian. We'll probably have some static. And again, thinking about our recruit tracker, we'll probably have some public facing pages there, right? Now we could
Right.
go in and probably do skip. We could probably do a skip filter. I'm calling it a skip filter. I don't think that's right. But anyway, essentially we could say, hey, I don't want you to run this. I don't want you to run this check. But to be honest, I'm not sure how this is work. So you've got an authorized tab. Okay, so right. So you've got a before action here. So this is, since you've got this at the application controller level, it's saying, hey, any request,
every page.
any request that's made to this app, anytime I hit, in this case, localhost 3000, I'm going to check for authorization. And if you're not authorized, I'm redirecting you to the welcome, to the welcome page.
So having that at the application controller level, that just cascades down to everything, right?
You're
so
right,
I want to be able
does.
to take that before action and put it on different pages. Or
Yeah,
assign it
you're
to
right. You
different
want to be able to,
pages.
yeah,
So,
you want to be
okay.
a little more, you want to be a little more judicious, I guess you'd say, about where we apply it. Now we do want the authorized method, and we wanted the application controller, because that way it'll make it available to any other controllers in our app. And I think what we'll do here is, first off, let's comment this out, and let's just sanity check our tasks.
Yeah, there you go.
Our
Okay.
task code.
Yep.
So now, by removing that before action in the application controller, we got task here. We can create a task, and then we can go back and we can view a task. We can show a task. So, okay, so we're okay there. So now that we've got something to protect, how do we apply our authentication to, in this case, this specific controller, our task controller? So what we should do is be able to take and grab this authorized method and add it to our task controller. So just like we've got a before action here for set task, we can also, I think we can just do comma authorized, instead of we could do this. We could, just so you know, we could put this on a separate line, or I think we can just do
I wonder, like
that. And I mean, sometimes, I mean, there'll be, you may have half a dozen before actions. So sometimes it may be, more explicit.
Right.
And not only different before actions, but you're also adding, you see here, you've got this only option you can pass to it. So you can say, I want this before action, but I only want it to apply to certain actions. In this case, we're saying, I want the authorized method to apply to any action inside this controller. So effectively what we're doing here is shutting down, if we go to our tasks, if we go to slash task route, or any of its associated methods, then the authorized action is going to be called, which should redirect us to the welcome page. Okay, so let's see if that's the case. If I refresh here now, okay, we get in there. Let's see, syntax there. Yes, I didn't do something right. Authorized. Well, you know what? I'm not worried about the syntax. Let's just put it on a separate line. So if we go to tasks, okay, that's good. So we are getting redirected to welcome, although application controller before.
Yeah, so because we took it out of the application controller, now every page needs to know that authorize is going to get called.
It does.
Is that kind of the
wait a minute.
the deal?
Slash welcome. So this is the, okay, no, this is in the sessions controller. Okay, so let's go to sessions controller. Okay, right, and you've got skip before action, authorized new, welcome, and then, so we're telling it not to use, well, okay. Since the authorize is not being applied, since we've removed it from the application controller, I'm thinking we should be able to do that. Yeah, okay. So we were saying skip before action, authorize. So that was an interesting error, though. It wasn't really explicit. for. Okay, authorize is not being defined, right? Which is sort of an odd error. Before we were requiring authorize for all pages. We removed that from the application controller, so it's no longer being applied. So I guess that's the case since
Right.
it's not being applied to the welcome page. It doesn't know in the context of the welcome page now. It doesn't know what the authorized method is. So I think that'd be the right way to say it. All right. So we're back on welcome. So now, and again, if we try to go to tasks.
So expected action here, when you put tasks in this time, we shouldn't see anything because we have sorry, it should redirect to the welcome page for us to be able to log in. Then it reaches out to the authorization. Then we should be able to see the task.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to go to /task and it's sending me to the welcome page each time. So if we log in now, so we're logged in, and now if we go to tasks,
now go to tasks.
It's still not working. So let's see what happened. So we went to /tasks, redirected to welcome, filter chain halted, authorized or rendered, redirected. Let's logged in. So am I logged in? Users not equal to nil. See if we can see what's happening by. So I went to /tasks. Current user, application controller line 8.
And then it says ID is null limit.
Where
like right above there. Yeah, I don't
know what that is. Don't necessarily know what that is either. Let's do this. One way to do this, let's log out again. For action callback authorize has not been defined. It's just messing us all up. Welcome. So if we go to our sessions controller, go to /login. Want to make sure we're understanding our path okay. And if we do create, to create, and then sessions new.
And is there a way to put the params in there to see if you're?
Yes, we could.
Like, can you log params, right?
Yep, yeah, we can. So we made it to create here, right? And okay, so yep, we know we made it there. So we know we're all, I'm confident we're authenticated. I just wanted to make sure we were authenticated. So now if I go to tasks, why am I getting redirected to welcome? If we go to /tasks, application controller, line 8, current user. So that makes me think that
there's something goofy here, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't quite know what current user is. So what we could do is put a puts in here maybe. So let's do a puts here. And this, we'd say something like current user is, and then I think we could do current user.inspect, usually what I like to do. Okay. And then if we refresh here, well, actually, let's go to tasks.
It says current user is
It's
nil.
nil. Okay. See, yeah. So see, current user's
Yeah.
not getting set. So that's part of our issue here. Where is current user being set?
It should be right there, right?
Okay, up here.
Like right
Okay.
above you, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Let's
that's user.find by
do.
session user ID.
I almost feel like we should have an @user and instance variable here or something, because we got to have a variable to assign it to. Let's see what my so this is in the application controller. Yeah, @current user.
Okay. So it's @or.
Let's just make sure your code is still there. That way we can reference it if we need to. @current user equals user.find session user ID if session ID. And then down here, we'd need something like, I think we need to use our instance variable here @. See, I mean, we were doing this, but we're not assigning it to any variable, so we can't reference back. There's no way for us to check. We're not, I mean, we were searching for the user, but we weren't doing anything with that,
We
with the
weren't
result of that.
capturing it anywhere.
I think, I mean, that's just the way I'm reading it here.
That
So
sounds right to me. Yeah.
based on those changes, let's go back and let's do, go ahead and log out and log back in. And then if we go to tasks, current user still nil. So that would need to be @current user. Let's make sure. We may need to go through that cycle again.
Yeah,
Just
run that
make
process again. Yeah.
Make sure the variable gets set. Still current users nil. Okay. All righty. Well, our time is up. So I'll take some time and look at this. If you want to check out that GitHub repository for the, and like I say, that particular app is Rails 4, but basically all the moving parts are there. So if you have time to review that some, but the idea is we want to build this out. I think a good goal to set would be, let's accomplish what we were trying to do here, which was just have a separate model that we're putting behind authentication, just so we understand that. And then once we do that, I'd like to next week, the goal would be that let's go ahead and get started on the Recruit Tracker app and just get the user model in place. And then like a good goal for the next couple of weeks to be just getting a user model in place. And then again, we're going to hang all of those fields, you know, the individual fields that are associated with each user. And, you know, essentially I mean, really, we can get a long ways just with that, because a big part of the app is just going to be allowing the user to log in, giving them access to their profile so they can update those fields.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course,
so go ahead. Sorry.
The next logical one is just to add the admin functionality, such that, you know, if you or I or Eddie or whoever's, you know, going to be managing applications, they can log in and view that stuff, and then we can start to hang the functionality that they'll be using as far as checking off on things, and then mail functionality and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we'll get it pushed up to Heroku and get it active. And so yeah, I think we're all on our way.
Okay, so the goal is essentially get the authentication working by having a tasks behind the curtain there. So.
Yeah, and
Okay.
just one way, and the idea would be if you go to /task, and I think we saw that, if you try and go to /task without being logged in, it's going to redirect you to the welcome screen.
Okay.
When you log in, then you do, in fact, like a nice way to do it might be if the user's logged in, then go ahead and redirect them to that task page.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to take it to another level, that's fun. I've done that before. Is, you know, we multi-tenant apps are also what they're called, but essentially, Greg logs in with his account. He's at Greg. You're only able to view your tasks, view and edit your tasks, but you can't see any of mine. I can, in fact, that may be something fun that we could just build on top of this app as a test.
So.
But of course, I can create all of the CRUD actions are based on the user account. So I can create, update, and delete my tasks. But then we've also got an admin account that will add. And of course, the admin account can view all tasks, can view the user that created the tasks. And that'll actually be a good, that's going to be similar to what the recruit tracker is going to do, right? Each of the recruits logs in, manages their own user account, all the attributes that are associated with that. And then we've got an admin account. And you can sort of start to see how this works, right? We've got that before filter that's all authentication. You've also got a before filter that says is admin. And if it's an admin user, then you're going to view all, you're going to view all tasks, in our little app that we're creating.
Yeah. And that's a way for the admin also to be able to provide feedback instead of having to, because then we can push out we can ping the recruits from there.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's got, that person, he or she has access to all of the user profiles, and then they can go in and sort of do all that stuff. So, okay. All righty. So let's do that, and then we'll be doing. Yeah. So, and then we'll be doing chapter 4. We'll be doing the next. We'll be doing the next section of the LinkedIn learning course next week too. So I'll watch that in advance and make notes on that.
Awesome.
Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Have a good weekend also.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.